Hello everyone, this is Ashley at the Learning Loft Academy, and today we are going to be going over adjectives. So, if you are not familiar with nouns, you must be familiar with nouns to understand this video, so go and review our noun video if you don't know what nouns are. The great thing about this video is it's going to be very simple. An adjective is just a word, if you didn't guess that already, that modifies a noun. That's it. That is it. There's nothing extra complicated here. It just modifies a noun. So if you ever are struggling, is this word an adjective? Just ask, is it changing the meaning of a noun in this sentence? Yes or no. There's not going to be a maybe. It's just either a yes or a no. So that dog is spunky. So we know the noun is dog. We know that. So, but we're modifying the meaning of dog. We're adding some extra meaning. That dog is spunky. Spunky is our adjective. A lot of adjectives end in Y. So some common adjectives are going to be pretty, ugly, happy, angry, cuddly, right? Things like that. A lot of adjectives end in a Y, but don't think that any word that ends in a Y is an adjective, because you might have a word like quickly. This is actually an adverb, and we're going to have another video on that. Notice it ends in an ly. Most words that end in ly are going to be adverbs, but notice ugly is an exception, and so is cuddly. So there are exceptions. There are exceptions. But most words that end in just plain Y are going to be adjectives. But there are also a lot of adjectives that don't end in a Y, such as soft or sad. So keep that in mind. Alright? So just the simple way is just ask yourself, is this word modifying a noun? Right? Is it changing a noun? So we might have, this water is murky. Don't want to go swimming in that. This water is murky. Murky is your adjective. Now, an adjective is not always going to appear in this rigid fashion. This blank is blank. It might just be this murky water. This murky water. In fact, adjectives often will appear in front of the nouns that they modify. They often appear in front of it. This murky water. Or this clear water. This clean water. This dirty water. These are all adjectives that modify water. And you could even use a word that doesn't even make sense, like this pretty water. I've never seen pretty water, but this is grammatical, because this is an adjective. You can put any adjective in this slot, and it will be grammatical, even if it doesn't make sense. So, remember, a sentence doesn't have to make sense in order to be grammatical. But of course, I'm going to use sentences in all of my videos that make sense, because that's definitely the better way to learn. So, a word that modifies a noun. Alright, so I want you to see if you can pick out the adjective in this following sentence that I'm about to write. Wow, this is a long sentence. Oof. But remember, length does not necessarily mean difficulty. Alright? No matter how long a sentence is, these rules are not going to change. An adjective is an adjective. It doesn't matter how long the sentence gets. So, let's first pick out the nouns. What are the nouns? We know fox is a noun, fence, and farmer. Okay? Those are the nouns. So, what would the adjectives be? And I assure you, there are adjectives in this sentence. There are 2 of them. 2 adjectives. Brown and loud. Brown is modifying fox. What kind of fox? It's a brown one. It could be a white one. It could be a red one. It could be a big one. It could be a small one. It doesn't really matter. Brown fox. This is the brown fox. Adjectives are good at differentiating one noun from another one, especially if you're trying to point it out to someone. You know, which fox ran away? It was the brown one, right? If that matters. So then we have also loud, the loud farmer, right? This is giving some extra detail. It's either differentiating this farmer from another one, or it's just giving detail as to what the farmer's like. Maybe he's just a loud person, or she is a loud person. They were probably being loud to drive away the fox. So, loud is modifying farmer. But you might say, wait a minute, what about quickly? It ends in a Y. And what about over? Over the fence. Could over be the adjective because it comes before fence? No. No. Think. What is quickly modifying? And in fact, what is over modifying? Is it really modifying the fence? We can have the brown fox. We can have the loud farmer. Can we have the over fence? We take out the word the, because obviously, if it's an adjective, we don't need the word the. We have brown fox. We have loud farmer. We would say over fence. But that doesn't make sense, does it? That's because over is not an adjective. It is an adverb. And we have a video on adverbs. And you might want to review that because that might help you if you get confused between adjective and adverb because those words sound very familiar. I mean, similar. But these are both adverbs. They are actually modifying jumped. The verb jumped. Jumped quickly. Jumped over. They are modifying verbs. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Just because you see a word that looks a little bit descriptive doesn't mean it's an adjective. It could be an adverb. But if you ever see, like if we look back at over the fence. Over the fence. Now, what if we added an adjective? Over the white fence. Over the white. Oops. Over the white fence. Notice you have the word the here in between over and fence, but you don't have the word the in between white and fence. If you see a descriptive word next to a noun, it's going to be an adjective. It will not be an adverb. Alright? You will not have the in between an adjective and the word that it's modifying. So that is definitely a quick and easy way to tell. Is over an adjective? No, because it's got this in between. It's got that there. So this is not going to be an adjective. But this is because there is no other words in between the two. They are right next to each other. White is modifying fence. So that is definitely a quick and easy way. Alright. So let's go over one more example sentence. I don't really like this boring book. So, adjective. What do we know about the book? It's boring. Boring is our adjective. It is describing book. Really is not an adjective. It is describing the word like. You can say, I don't like, but we have, I don't really like. We want to show a little bit of uncertainty. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it either. Really is modifying like, so it is an adverb modifying like, right? This is our adjective, boring. And notice, once again, it is slap up next to book. It's right next to it. They're not separated. Now you could say, this book is boring. Yes, you can. Is a verb that is linking the words book and boring. It is linking the two of them together. This book is what? It is boring. Boring is still our adjective, even though we've got this word in between. It's not the word the. The book, the boring. That makes no sense. That is not grammatical. So the adjective is either going to be pointed out, just right there simply, this book is boring. Or it's going to be right next to it, this boring book. Either way, if you ask for either one of these sentences, what's wrong with the book? Is boring? It's boring. Alright. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions regarding adjectives or the examples I used, then ask us a question in the comments below. And we also have another video on adverbs. I mentioned adverbs a couple of times, and I purposely used example sentences with adverbs in them so that I can show you, hey, this is not an adjective. So watch our adverb video, and like I said, if you're shaky on nouns, then you're going to want to review our noun video too. That's going to be it for this one, and I will see you in the next one.